2 Kings, chapter 25. And it comes to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th of the month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has come, he and all his force, against Jerusalem, and encamps against it, and builds a surrounding fortification against it. And the king enters into siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. On the 9th of the month, when the famine is severe in the city, then there has not been bread for the people of the land. And the city is broken up, and all the men of war go by night the way of the gate, between the two walls that are by the garden of the king. And the Chaldeans are against the city all around, and the king goes the way of the plain. And the force of the Chaldeans pursue after the king, and overtake him in the plains of Jericho, and all his force have been scattered from him. And they seize the king, and bring him up to the king of Babylon, to Riblah, and they speak judgment with him. And they have slaughtered the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and he has blinded the eyes of Zedekiah, and binds him with bronze chains, and they bring him to Babylon. And in the 5th month, on the 7th of the month, it is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, chief of the executioners, servant of the king of Babylon, has come to Jerusalem. And he burns the house of Yahweh, and the house of the king, and all the houses of Jerusalem. Indeed, he has burned every great house with fire. And all the forces of the Chaldeans who are with the chief of the executioners have broken down the walls of Jerusalem all around. And the rest of the people, those left in the city, and those falling who have fallen to the king of Babylon, and the rest of the multitude, Nebuzaradan, chief of the executioners, has removed. And of the poor of the land, the chief of the executioners has left for vinedressers and for farmers. And the pillars of bronze that are in the house of Yahweh, and the bases and the sea of bronze that is in the house of Yahweh, the Chaldeans have broken in pieces, and carry away their bronze to Babylon. And the pots and the shovels and the snuffers and the spoons, and all the vessels of bronze with which they minister, they have taken. And the fire pans and the bowls that are wholly of silver, the chief of the executioners has taken. The 2 pillars, the 1 sea, and the bases that Solomon made for the house of Yahweh, there was no weighing of the bronze of all these vessels. 18 cubits is the height of 1 pillar, and the capital on it is of bronze, and the height of the capital is 3 cubits, and the net and the pomegranates are on the capital all around. The whole is of bronze. And the 2nd pillar has like these, with the net. And the chief of the executioners takes Seraiah the head priest, and Zephaniah the 2nd priest, and the 3 keepers of the threshold. And he has taken out of the city a certain eunuch who is appointed over the men of war, and 5 men of those seeing the king's face, who have been found in the city, and the head scribe of the host, who musters the people of the land, and 60 men of the people of the land who are found in the city. And Nebuzaradan, chief of the executioners, takes them, and causes them to go to the king of Babylon, to Libnah. And the king of Babylon strikes them, and puts them to death in Riblah, in the land of Hamath, and he removes Judah from off its land. And the people that are left in the land of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has left, he appoints Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, son of Shaphan, over them. And all the heads of the forces hear, they and the men, that the king of Babylon has appointed Gedaliah. And they come to Gedaliah to Mizpah, even Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, and Johanan, son of Kareah, and Seraiah, son of Tanhumeth the Netophathite, and Jaaniziah, son of the Maacathite, they and their men. And Gedaliah swears to them and their men, and says to them, Do not be afraid of the servants of the Chaldeans. Dwell in the land, and serve the king of Babylon, and it is good for you. And it comes to pass in the 7th month, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, has come, son of Elishama, of the seed of the kingdom, and 10 men with him. And they strike Gedaliah, and he dies, and the Jews and the Chaldeans, who have been with him in Mizpah. And all the people rise, from the small even to great, and the heads of the forces, and come to Egypt, for they have been afraid of the presence of the Chaldeans. And it comes to pass in the 37th year of the expulsion of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 27th of the month, evil Merodach, king of Babylon, has lifted up, in the year of his reigning, the head of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, out of the house of restraint, and speaks good things with him, and puts his throne above the throne of the kings who are with him in Babylon, and has changed the garments of his restraint. And he has eaten bread continually before him all the days of his life, and his allowance, a continual allowance, has been given to him from the king, the matter of a day in its day, all the days of his life.